Hey guys, it is Monday night, and tonight is our night to do egg roll in a bowl. It is one of our favorite meals, and I'm going to show you a little tip about how I chop up my onions, and then I'm going to walk over to the stove and show you how I put together the rest of the recipe. So let me put my camera down here. Hoping you can see my cutting board. If you can see my cutting board, give me a thumbs up. Anybody that's there. I might just try to invite a couple people. Let's see who is around. I know Louise is in the UK, so she probably will not answer. So we'll just pop a few people on here. So if you can see my cutting board okay, let me know. But this is an onion that is a beautiful, I'm not sure if it's a white onion. It's not a Walla Walla, but this is an onion from our garden, and it's very lightly purple. But it's not a purple onion, or not a red onion. But this is what you do. I'm hoping you can see this. So you take the onion and cut it in half. So you see I've cut it in half. And then you lay it on its side, and you don't cut all the way to the end, but chop small sections through the onion, and then you turn it the other way and you chop it that way. You get very nice diced segments. I used to do it the old-fashioned way, and then when you get down here to the end, you can just kind of cut some more off. And then you throw it in your come-again bowl. But anyways, back in the old days, I used to cut it a different way. My mom used to hold it in her hand and would do this, and then you do this. And my son, who's a chef, taught me how to do it this way. So now I'm going to take you over to the oven, or to the stove, I mean. And this is called egg roll in a bowl. I'm going to raise the tripod up a little bit. Oh, maybe not. There we go. That's better. So what I have done here is, this is ground chicken. And hi Sue, thanks for jumping on. This is ground chicken. You can do this recipe with any kind of ground meat. It calls for beef, grass-fed beef. Which is about one of the only kinds of beef that we do anyways. I have done it with ground turkey. You could do it with ground pork. But I am liking more and more these days ground chicken. So that's what I did. So it's been all brown. And I'm going to bring over my onions and put those in there. And those are going to cook for about a minute. And I'll just kind of visit and chat while I'm doing this. So you cook those for about a minute. So I've chopped the onions, I browned the ground beef. This is a meal that you could put together on a Sunday night or Sunday when you're meal prepping. You could put this whole meal together, and let me get myself up into the camera a little bit. You could put this all together on any given night, or on the weekend. Put it all together and put it in the fridge in a glass casserole dish, and people can heat it up and eat off of it all week. That's usually what we do. So one of the meal prepping tips that I have is, if you want to, when you come home from the grocery store, brown up your hamburger, brown up your ground chicken, brown up things and cook things, like I said, and then just put it in a glass container, or even let it cool and put it in a Ziploc bag. You can freeze it if you don't think you're going to use it right away, or it lasts a couple of days in the fridge before you're going to put it together. And so that's what I have done many times with this recipe. I have pre-browned everything, put it all together, and then the night that we're going to eat it, I will throw in the cabbage, which you'll see in a minute. I'll throw that in at the last minute so that it's not soggy. But I'll tell you, this is a meal that tastes better the next time around. So let me see what I do next. Reduce it to medium. So again, this is a really inexpensive, very easy meal to do. Next, I'm going to add all my spices. We've got crushed red peppers. We've got garlic granules. We have ground ginger, and we have salt and pepper. And I like my little crocks, and I mix up all my seasonings before, and then just sprinkle it in. So we'll get that all on there, and mix that up. And for anybody that's just jumping on, hi Sue. For anybody that's just jumping on, I am doing egg roll in a bowl, and I will share the recipe with you when I'm done. This is one of our favorites. The other one that I think is probably a close second is the mock fried rice. Chicken fried rice is our other favorite one, and that's done with riced cauliflower and all your normal veggies that you would put in like a pork fried rice or chicken fried rice. So that's going to cook for a second, and I'm going to add my wet ingredients. And this you can kind of play around with. Since this is chicken, I'm going to use chicken stock. If you make your own, that's great. I have some, but it was frozen, so I didn't have it to get out. But you're going to add your chicken stock. Oops, wait a minute. Not yet. Sorry, guys. I've made this recipe so many times. Oh no, I am going to add that. So I'm going to add my chicken stock. Hopefully I'm not boring you. I'm certainly not Julia Childs, but I'm going to add that, add my spices. So now we've got a little bit of liquid in the pan. And excuse my dogs that are horsing around in the corner. But this is your next thing. My kids are laughing at me because I'm doing Julia Childs in the kitchen. You're going to photobomb me. So this is my coleslaw mix, and that's going to go the whole bag. Will you guys be home to eat? Yeah. Okay. And then you're just going to let that stir around. I'm going to take 2 spoons. Let me show you it again. You're laughing at me because I'm doing chopping with Cheryl. My family asks for this at least once.
Is that egg roll in a bowl?
It is egg roll in a bowl.
Oh yeah.
That's my soon-to-be married son. It just popped in. So I'm mixing all that up and going to let it sit. I have done this with fresh cabbage from my garden as well. I use purple and green cabbage. It's got a little bit of carrots in it, so the carb count is pretty low once it's all mixed up. But you're going to let that stir it to coat, and then you have a couple of different options. Let me tip this back up again. Sue, I'm so glad you're sticking back with me. You're the only one that's on right now. Let me see if I can get anybody else. Let's see. Anybody else out there? Okay, so a couple of other options you can use. And this is when it calls for tamari or any kind of soy sauce. So, hey Patricia, nice to see you. This is coconut aminos. I love it. I really like it, especially with any kind of shrimp dish, because it's like a coconut shrimp. It's not a super overpowering flavor, but it's all of these are very similar to soy sauce. I just like to use these rather than soy sauce because I like more natural ingredients. So you've got your coconut aminos, you have your Bragg's liquid aminos, which is very, very close to soy sauce. Yes, Sue loves egg roll in a bowl, me too. And then this is tamari, and tamari is gluten-free. And so if you're watching your gluten-free, it is made 100% soy, but it's gluten-free. So and this one happens to be reduced sodium. So tonight I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to use the coconut aminos, and we're going to put, what are we doing? We're going to put 4 teaspoons. And this stuff is so yummy. So you put your 4 teaspoons in there, and when I'm cooking I just kind of eyeball it, and I do use a teaspoon, but sometimes I let it just kind of dribble out while I'm cooking. So there's my coconut aminos, and I need to add my sesame oil, because then that's what makes it taste so much like your egg rolls that you buy. Show you a view again. And sesame oil looks like this. It comes in different kinds. I do not have the full amount, which is supposed to be what is it supposed to be? 1.5 tablespoons. I know there's not that much in here, so I'm just going to drizzle it over the top and use what I can. I forgot, and I didn't know that I didn't have enough. But that gives it a really nice, yummy sesame flavor. And you're done. If you want to add some green onions for garnish, if you wanted to sprinkle a little sesame seed on top, you could do any of that. Oh, one more thing I forgot. This is what makes it kind of yummy and sweet is I use a stevia sweetener. We don't use a lot of sugar in the house, and so I use the stevia, and I'm going to put a little bit of that on there as well. And it's actually 4 tablespoons, which seems like a lot, but you don't really even taste it. And it just gives it a nice rounded flavor of a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy because you've got the crushed red peppers in there, a little bit of saltiness from the tamari or whatever soy sauce you're using. One more stir, and the meal is ready. So, you know, you can buy a bag of that salad stuff for a couple of bucks. You can, if you're really watching your savings, you can get hamburger for, you know, sometimes $2 something a pound, and you need 1.5 pounds for this recipe, and you can see it's all cooked down. You can use, you know, pretty much any kind of meat, just depends on what you like, and your spices. So you're talking maybe a $10 meal, and this meal lasts. Makes like 6 servings, and we will probably eat off of this for a couple of days. So, like I said, I will be posting the recipe for this. I will put it under this video so you guys will be able to find it and see all my fun instructions. I hope this has been a informational dinner for you, something that I think your families would love. And it's a very nice kind of low carb meal, as well as just packed with lots of good vegetables and your protein and your meat. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for jumping on, and I will talk to you soon.